Hey guys, I'm down here at the Petaluma River, and one thing I've discovered is this time of year in the fall, live mudsuckers make good bait. But I've also realized that at low tide, they're almost impossible to catch. So I'm down here at the Petaluma River, and I'm trying to catch a live mudsucker with just a red worm to use for live bait. The problem is the tide is way out there, and what I have noticed is it's really hard to catch a mudsucker when the tide is way out. So I did a little research online and looked up these mudsuckers or gobies, and what I figured out is when the tide goes out, they just burrow into the mud. So they're probably all burrowed into this mud on the bank here, and you can't get any bites. But when the tide comes in, they come up out of their holes and they're pretty easy to catch. So I'm just kind of waiting for the tide to come in a little bit more here so I can catch some bait. I was planning on fishing with live bait, with live mudsuckers, but problem is if you can't catch one, you can't fish, because I didn't bring any other bait. Didn't bring any frozen anchovies or anything. So hopefully the tide will come in soon and I can get one.
Got Annie in there with you. Okay, I got you.
Okay, took a while, but I finally got a little one once the tide came in a little bit. Now I'm gonna hook them up and fish. Once that tide starts coming in, then those mudsuckers come out of the holes and start biting. They actually bite pretty good most of the time. So I just hooked them through the upper lip like that. That's how I usually hook them. So I'm gonna get that out there and see if I can catch something.
Vicious rabid dog we have here.
The tide has come in quite a bit. You can see where it is compared to where it was, but it had to get up like that high before I started catching the mudsuckers. Once it got in like that, they were biting pretty good. So, but the tide had to come in a few feet, you know. Probably took me 45 minutes to catch one. So, if you want to catch mudsuckers, try catching them at higher tide. It works a lot better. Mudsuckers are much easier to catch at a higher tide, and I didn't really show you how I rig up to catch them, but I've already done a video of that, so I'll put the link to that video in the description. Thanks. Well, so far no bites. One thing when you fish with live mudsuckers, you usually don't get near as many bites, but as you would with, say, frozen anchovies or something like that, but you usually get the bigger quality fish. That's usually how you catch the bigger fish, but you have to bypass catching a lot of smaller ones to catch the bigger ones. Well, I don't know if I'll be back with any fish or not, but there's my tip. If you want to catch live mudsuckers, do it at higher tide, because once they go in those holes at the lower tide, they're almost impossible to catch. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.